Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I had a question. Just wanted to make sure that me and my wife are on the right track with our budget, and we're hitting kind of a snag whether or not we should move because our neighbor is causing us issues with the apartment that we rent.
Wow, that's quite the snag.
I'd like to know more about this bothersome neighbor
situation.
I like a little drama. What's going on with the neighbor? People want to know.
Well, so me and my wife are as Dave would say, scorched earth with our budget, and we really started in April and tackling our debt. We have about $48,000 in debt, and our apartment's fairly cheap, but it's connected. And since we're not eating out anymore and we're cooking from home, the smells are bothering the neighbor from cooking, and it's like we're only getting like 2-3 hours of sleep at night now.
Wait a second. Wait. There's a lot to... Can I unpack a little, George? All right. You're telling me your neighbor is upset by your cooking smells.
Yeah.
What are you cooking?
Can't breathe.
What are you cooking?
Oh, well, last night we just did chicken and noodles, and that kept her up for about 4 hours.
What time are you cooking?
We cook about 5-6 o'clock at night.
So wait a second. So hold on. There's a lot here. So you cook at 5 or 6 o'clock, and you're cooking pretty basic stuff like chicken and pasta. And the neighbor, is it a woman or a man? The neighbor.
It's just a single woman. She's older.
And she's saying that it's keeping her up
because of how aggressive the smell is.
Yeah, I mean, we got a text at 2 a.m. saying she was going to call the fire department on us.
Please.
At 2 a.m?
I would love to see them show up and say, what's the issue here? Well,
now, first of all,
can you smell it?
Why are you answering a text at 2 a.m? Turn the phones off and put them in another room.
Yeah, no, I'm not answering it. I called the landlord, and the landlord wants her out, but he's having trouble getting her out.
I'm guessing this is not her first issue. She sounds like a troublemaker.
No. Yeah.
What's the problem?
Right now, me and my wife are determining, should we move to another apartment with a higher rent, or should we just keep
cooking and I would just push her out with. In fact, you guys aren't even cooking. I cook something with a lot of garlic. I'd really double down on the smelly
test
stuff.
The waters here.
How about some fish? Drive the old lady out. The landlord wants her out anyway. Why in the world? And I'm having some fun with this. But why in the world would you move to a higher rent just because she's griping over just nonsense?
Yeah. Just because it's just mental wear and tear.
Why is it? No, okay. What's the mental wear and tear? I don't understand. It's some grumpy old lady. Why don't you just ignore her?
Oh no. Yeah, well, no. I mean, well, because they're conjoined apartments, and she has.
How conjoined are we talking?
So,
Wait.
She'll stomp around and scream and yell, and we can hear it through the entire apartment, and that's what's waking us up at night.
She's screaming at you, or is this a different situation?
A couple times she has.
I think this needs to go to the landlord, and if she wants to get the authorities involved, let them, because it sounds like she's about to be moving out.
I think you take it to the landlord and fight instead of giving into this crotchety old lady.
I'm guessing the landlord's on your side with this, saying, yeah, she's a problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's trying to get her out.
Can they move you to a different unit for the same price?
No. It's a duplex house.
Oh, okay.
So we don't.
It's not like a complex. Well, how much longer are you going to be here? Is this your long-term renting situation?
Well, we don't want it to be. That's why we don't want to go up to higher rent, because we have $48,000 in debt, and I have a plan to have all of our debt paid off, except for my school bill, which will be $35,000 at the end of the year, and then get that done in a half of a year, because we make $7,500 a month.
Great.
And so we want to eventually work to get a house of our own. All
right, I'm going to tell you this. I'm jumping in, Dan, for a second, because the nature of this call is really not financial. This is an emotional and a mental thing that you're dealing with, and I get how much of a pain in the you-know-what it is. But, George, unless I'm missing something, this would be a bad financial move for you guys. I would sit down. This is me, but I love confrontation. All right. So I understand not everybody likes confrontation. I'd sit down with the old lady, I'd record the thing, and I'd go, ma'am, this is what you're doing. You're stomping, you're screaming. We are going to record all this and document it. And we are going to sue you. We are going to drive you out of here if you don't stop this nonsense. So we're recording everything from this moment on. We are not leaving. You are not. Stare the old lady down and just go, we're not going to lose. You are going to lose. And here's how we're going to ensure that. And I would just double down on it. I really would. And get the landlord to kick her out. Or she stops this nonsense. That's what I would at least try that. You got nothing to lose, George. It's a little bit more confrontational than your style.
At first I thought, well, maybe they're in the wrong here, but it doesn't sound like that's the case.
If she did that to me, I'd go get a drum set and I'd play the drums. I'd fight fire with fire. I would. I'd go get a bass drum and beat on that thing until
so petty.
I'm not
Here's
petty.
The thing. Dan is a nice guy. Dan, you don't want to do any of this.
Yeah, well, I work 2 counseling jobs and I'm a youth pastor, so
bless it. Maybe you should try to counsel her.
I'd
give her some free counseling.
Of course, I'm having fun with this, but Dan, I wouldn't give in on this. I'd drive her out through the landlord.
Not at the cost of moving costs and moving out, a more expensive apartment. I'm going to stick this out and see what happens in the next few months and really put some pressure on the landlord to do something about it.
Yeah, I gave him a deadline last time, yeah.
Good for you.
It might escalate before it gets better, but I would not make any moves right now. You guys are on track to get rid of this debt fast. I don't want to derail that because of some cranky old lady. Yeah. She's got some get off my lawn energy, and we won't stand for that, Ken.
I would try cooking some. The most passive-aggressive move is to cook some fish.
Ken's like,
about
microwave some 5-day-old salmon. See if that gets her out of there. Just smoke her out of there,
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.